This is a full book summary of Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's Purple Hibiscus. Let us get this started with right now. Now let's start off with a little disclaimer. This whole book itself, the Purple Hibiscus, doesn't really have much of an impact. The Purple Hibiscus itself is more of a symbolic way to go ahead and show everyone how that they're living and how that they're growing and freer from this oppression that they are being forced into. So I will be trying my best to summarize all the plot points, whereas going ahead and taking away some of the side stories that happen. This might mean that I might not even mention the cousins, so I will do my best to try to include them into the full book summary. Let's get this started with. It starts off with these two siblings, Kambili and Jaja. They are from the ADICHIE household, and in the ADICHIE household, they have their mother, Mama Beatrice, who is working towards their well-being, and Papa, who is deeply religious, rejects his own culture, and is fully Catholic. Like, fully. In the sense of, like, he confuses everything towards Catholicism. In the sense, hey, I want to go ahead and punish you guys because I think that my free will and my religious will is telling me to. And as a result, well, that's it. And that's it. Well, that was a good way to go ahead and keep this going. What else can I go ahead and continue to talk about? Well, with my life currently, there's not much else I could really talk about. The Purple Hibiscus itself doesn't come in. But I will mention that Jaja and the Papa and our Kambili themselves are being beaten up because of his religious fervor, as those punishments that I told you about earlier dictated. And what else did we get? Well, with this thing, we go ahead and find out that we're struggling with the silence. We have this oppression and a tyrannical father, and, well, he's not giving in. So, one day, when Auntie Ifioma and Eugene, Papa's name is Eugene, his sister comes in, and the auntie of Jaja and Kambili come in. She's all like, but the kids haven't met each other at all, and I want to go ahead and go on this little trip, so we're going to go ahead and take these guys with me. And somehow she managed to convince Papa that the cousins need to get to know each other. And so Jaja and Kambili, they're going ahead and they're working with their cousins, looking at their lives and seeing the big contrast between their lives and their cousins. Mainly because their cousins are literally the opposite of them. They're freeing, they have free expression, they're allowed to express themselves, allowed to go ahead and be respectful. Not allowed, like they have to be respectful, but they're allowed to express themselves in any way. No one's oppressed, no one's views are crushed and oppressed, and that's just about it. They're also very outspoken and have these arguments with each other all the time, which their mama, Auntie Ifioma, seems to be very, very proud of. And so when this happens, they go ahead and realize that this is going to be one of the greatest times in our lives, and that they can go and talk with their cousins. But then they realize that their cousins are a little weird, that they don't act at all, they don't do things at all the way that they should, and etc., etc., etc. What else do we know about that? As the story progresses on, we finally have them taste freedom. And then their heathen father, it's called heathen even though he's more of a traditionalist, who refuses to convert to Catholicism, comes in because he's very, very sick, and Auntie Fiona really wants to take care of him because his son and their brother is not going to go ahead and take care of their father, because he disapproves of his own father and the way that he is still embracing the Igbo culture. Eventually, Papa gets word of this, and he's like, I'm gonna get my kids back there. And then as soon as he comes, which is like the next day, she's all like, Papa's died in his sleep, which is true, because he has really died in his sleep. And as a result, he's all like, well, we can go ahead and arrange him a Catholic church funeral. And she's like, what the hell? He's not a Catholic. I'm refusing to give him a Catholic church. Has he ever wanted to become a Catholic? And he's like, okay, then I'll just give you money for the Igbo one. I cannot participate in this heathen religion, but I will give you money for it. And so she took Jaja and Kambili with her towards this place, and they are going to go ahead and do their lives. With that, they realize that the protests at home are going a little bit too much more. His chief editor, he runs a newspaper. Papa runs a newspaper station and factories. That's why they're so rich. Goes ahead and becomes killed because of a mail bomb, mainly because he's written a story that his father approved and encouraged to be written about the instability of the Nigerian government. And so the Nigerian government sends him a bomb, and he dies with the bomb. Papa is grieving, and then because of this weakness in him, Jaja and Mama and Kambili, they're all starting to grow stronger because of it. They're growing their much increasing power, and they're starting to get more freedom. They tasted the freedom, and they're going to taste it. And so Jaja plants a purple hibiscus, which grows and grows and grows, and eventually almost blooms, resulting in the sense of that their freedom. But then it's wilted. Papa starts to become a bit more angry and a bit more stressful in the sense that he beats up Jada, he beats up Camberly to the point that she has to be hospitalized, and after the hospitalization and a bunch of hospitalization and a bunch of romantic kind of things that I did not talk about because, well, it happened in the book, but I don't think it's worth mentioning right now. I want to finish this off quick. She is taken in by Auntie Ifeoma again to live with them, mainly because, well, their papa is a very abusive man, and it's not right for children to be treated like this. Later, their mother, Beatrice, goes ahead and joins them. Mama joins them, mainly because she was beaten up and she was in the hospital for several days. Papa was told that she would die, and so he didn't do anything about it. And then she woke up and she realized she's not dead, and then she called a cab and a taxi to go back to go to Auntie Ifeoma's to stay for a little bit, and she hasn't told Papa anything yet. And so Papa and Mama have a little talk on the phone later on where she confesses to everything. He comes to pick them up, and then she realizes that something else is going to happen here. What do we do about it? But Mama starts to have some newfound courage. Even though her son is being punished, she decides that she has to go ahead and give him food and things to live with. And this is when Jaja and Camberly start to become much more powerful, and eventually, they find out that Papa's dead. He's slumped at the office in his factory, dead. Their autopsy has been done towards him, and it is found that there is poison in him. Now, Mama confesses to being the one who poisoned Papa, saying that, well, we needed to liberate our house from his oppressive regime. And so, Camberly is shocked by all this, but certainly isn't really scared by any of all this. She's lived without Papa once before. And so, Jaja is all like, okay, what can I do about this? We're free. So the police come in and they would like to ask some questions, but Jaja decides to defend Mama by becoming the scapegoat once again, saying that he was the one who poisoned Papa with rat poison. They let him change his shirt and then arrest him. Time skip towards around 3 years later, more specifically 31 months later. It was during that time where the Nigerian government itself started to become toppled, and stability started to become reclaimed. Every prisoner of war that was from the political region was starting to become released, and Jaja's name was on number 4 on that list. As a result, when Camberly, now 3 years older, and Mama came in to go ahead and tell them about everything, Jaja was finally relaxed and started to be able to imagine a future where he would be able to be free and become the person that he would want to become, not the person that he was wished to become based on other people's expressions. Camberly herself expresses her wish that Jaja, would go ahead and plant a new purple hibiscus so that it could bloom as it once did before, like the previous one. And so that's it. That's the full book summary of Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's Purple Hibiscus. I hope to see you guys soon. Until next time, Shihana, peace. Bye-bye.